Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of week again. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to the Week 6 Fantasy Football Talk Show. You got JJ, you got the commish as always, and Jack got a lot of news to break down from our league, the National Football League, and otherwise. But first, Jack, tell me how you feeling. How's the week? How's the kids? How's the wife? Uh, talk to me about the daily life of JJ.
Family's all good, no complaints here. Football's all good. Every week's a good week when the Vikings have a bye, so I don't have to worry about their game. I can just lock in on my fantasy team, who also had a fantastic week. Busy times in the NFL, a lot of movement, a lot of chatter, so let's get right into it.
You guys know how it is by now. Let's take a quick look at the scoreboard. And Jack, we start this week on a low. We start the scoreboard off on a low every week.
We
I
do,
want to
we
stop
really
going
do.
first. This is a bad pattern emerging. Jack, I thought I could pull it out. I thought after Debo Samuel's very nice 20-point performance on Thursday Night Football, I thought I had the chance to take down a Titan, a David and Goliath story in the making, but unfortunately, I came up 6 points short of taking down Tyler, and my team falls to 1-5. Um, I'm not gonna blame my new players because they were two out of my top three performers this week, but Jack, I just don't know what I'm missing.
Yeah, I mean, Titan, I think is the right word because you put up a solid week. You're in the top half of scoring for sure. Uh, this team just seems unbeatable. I mean, Travis Etienne goes down after -1 yards, finishing with a goose egg, and still he puts up 137 points. I don't know how can we stop?
I There's no stopping him until just the wheels fall off on this team. And
Yeah,
like you said, it felt embarrassing to lose to a man who started Travis Etienne with negative point 0.1 yards this week in fantasy football.
yeah,
Um, Goes down with, I believe, a hamstring injury.
yes.
Um, so it was really my week to just snipe a win off this team. But no, Chris Godwin, 35 fantasy points. He looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
a wide receiver one in the National Football League, which no one would have guessed. I think he was a fourth round pick in our league. But yeah, wide receiver one, Chris Godwin. Ken Walker looks back in shape. And I will say I was watching the Colts Titans game at a bar this weekend, rooting for my old players, Josh Downs, Tony Pollard, and they did pretty darn well for you. I wish it could have been more, but I think that's a good sign from our trade.
I agree. I think it worked out for both of us, and I know that Brees was having a good week. I looked at that very closely. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Um,
sure did.
but yeah, Daddle putting up 10 is fine because the Dallas Cowboys got blown out. So
Yeah.
it's- even though we're 1-5, I'm gonna keep saying it until I sound crazy. This team is gonna be okay. I'm gonna find a way to make the playoffs and make a scary run at the end of the season.
I believe in you, and I
Uh,
believe too, after past playoff performances, that if you're the eight seed, Tyler does not want to play you, my friend.
Little run back from last year. Oh,
Yeah.
just don't get me too excited, Jack. Speaking of runs, speaking of top performers, we have one right here. James Murray running away from the competition, and Jack, his team just got better today.
Yeah, what a juggernaut we have in our hands. Sitting at 5-1. Derrick Henry looks like the best running back in football. AJ Brown returns from injury this week to an already strong team. And like you said, Amari Cooper moving to the Bills, moving to maybe the best quarterback in football. This team, yeah, very, very dangerous.
I absolutely agree. I think that's a massive upgrade for Amari Cooper fantasy football value. To go from Deshaun Watson in 2024 to Josh Allen is like immeasurable. And we kind of expected that there wasn't going to be a top receiver in Buffalo, and through the first 6 weeks, we were kind of right about that. No one really emerged as that guy, so it's Amari's role to take. And if he plays well and Derrick Henry keeps up his RB1 numbers, like, yeah, this team is going to be good for a while. And good guys, our good friend Evan, he's figuring it out. Jalen
He's just
Hurts.
learning.
Yeah, he's listen, he's putting a full lineup out every weekend. For that, we're proud of him.
Yes, we
And
are.
he's a better record than me, so once again, I can't say shit. But
Yeah. Gander's performed better than a lot of teams, including the next team, Scott, taking on me in a week where I needed a bounce back win after putting up 155 and losing last week. And the boys did just that. 150 points, just about. Brees Hall, welcome to the team. 22 fantasy points, and he missed that touchdown where I thought he would for sure was going to score on that long run. So it could have been even more.
yeah,
Brees, great day. The usage we love to see. I hope the passing game usage continues with the addition of a certain wide receiver that we'll talk about later. But he did his thing. Jaden Daniels continues to do his thing. Drake London the same. And Jamison Williams made his debut for me, and he caught one long touchdown. Finished with, I think, 17.6 fantasy points. So uh, clicking on all cylinders. We get Jefferson back this week from bye. We get Devon Achane back hopefully this week. I'm
yep.
feeling ecstatic about my team right now.
Jack, we're looking at a little bit of forecasting for week 7, and your team is currently projected at 146 points with no
Holy,
players having played yet, which
holy
is
shit.
ridiculous. I don't think I've seen those numbers. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
that's
wow.
pretty legit. So
All
I'd be
right. Projections
yeah,
don't mean shit, but I'll take that. Wow. Uh, cool. And I didn't even get my defense
yeah,
waiver.
that's
Maybe I'll tip over 150.
hey, that sounds good to me, man. One of us has to represent. And yeah, Scott, buddy, I would start accepting those trades for George Kittle. You know, I know this is a deep league. I know it's 14 managers, but we can find a better quarterback than Andy Dalton, I promise. And yeah, dude, you got to start making moves. I wish Scott the best. I mean, listen, Mixon, great value. Kittle, one of the top tight ends in fantasy right now, which we weren't expecting, but yeah, 2-4, another sub 100-point game for this team. Just looking for leadership from the locker room right now. I think that's all I can say.
Yeah, and we're certainly not getting any of that, given that he has the entire Rams receiving core in his roster. So we'll see how that goes. Moving
Uh,
on to the battle of mid. Two 3-3 teams now going head to head. Dorf with a nice impressive win, putting up 131. Baker Mayfield leading the way. This guy has been unbelievable this season.
he's been great. I believe Baker is the quarterback 2 in fantasy right now.
Correct.
Who thought that he would keep up that production, but dropping a 50 bomb on the Saints is a nice little cherry on top for his fantasy performance. Zay Flower getting like almost double-digit receptions and all around. I believe Dorf is the proud owner of Nico Collins. If I'm
Yes.
not wrong. For him to get a win with that guy out on IR, one of his top performers, he'll take it. And yeah, I like what I see from the new manager.
Me too. A great debut season so far. Really like what I'm seeing from the Dorfs.
Hell yeah. And the Lewisburg Townies, they're gonna be okay. I think Diggs is gonna be a high value guy the next 3 weeks as long as Nico's out with a pulled hamstring. Um, they had a strong start to the season. Saquon had a day. Kyron was on by, I believe. So
Hmm.
lost a couple, but I
Yeah,
think they'll make it right back up there.
100%. That's a good squad there.
Got our last few matchups here for week 6. Oh my gosh. Are we starting a streak right now? Greg Jennings going from 0-4 to 2-4.
Come on now.
This guy just putting on a performance. Jesse Bates, little 19-point kicker performance. That's always nice to save you. Terry McLaurin looking like a wide receiver 1 in Washington. DeAndre Swift continuing his dominant streak. And I mean, after we clown this guy for his trade last week, I'm just happy to see our friend Nabil just falling very fast down our personal rankings. That just puts a smile on my face, Jack.
It is tough to see. He brought in Tyler Lockett and Rashad White. Lockett, solid week, and Rashad was injured naturally. So Sean Tucker comes in and it's RB1 on the week with 34 points, but still not enough for him to be able to get it done. This team, the downfall will be studied when it's all said and done, I think. But that does not take away from Bridge, who doubled down on him having a good roster. He had a lot of very close losses, losing by 1 to 5 points 2 times. Terry and DeAndre since week 2 have both been top of the line, and yeah, it's good to see this team finally hitting its expectations.
Yeah, definitely a nice hole to dig out of for this team. Speaking of holes, robbery, feel like we've seen him on the losing end of football games the past few weeks. Um, Defense almost saving him with a nice 17-point performance. I think the Tampa Bay defense had a touchdown, but just wasn't enough. Just the boys didn't show up when they needed to. And Craft Massage Parlor, good friend Ollie, shout out the guy, the owner.
Oh.
Um, my sense of that, we'll see. Putting up a nice performance with his new addition to Garrett Wilson, who, shocker, looks great. So, yeah, nice job getting him for a bag of peanuts, and he moves to 5-1.
Yeah, great job, Nabil, giving a really, really good team even more ammo. That is one three-headed receiving monster right there. Um, we will see what Garrett Wilson's production looks like going forward, but CD's been underwhelming, and Ollie's still 5-1. For Shuby, I mean, Amon-Ra, not the performance you like to see. 14 points is good, but the Lions are too busy trying to throw touchdowns to their right tackle than give Amon-Ra the ball. So, maybe if they have some more close games, we'll see, better performances here. But has there always been an R in front of Aubrey? I always thought it was just Highway Aubrey.
I think that's new. I think that is a new development. I don't know if that has to do with the losing record. I think that implies his team is being robbed of wins, which is correct.
It would be correct.
So, yeah, nice change there, Shuby. Good job, bud.
Anyway, speaking of wins, congratulations to the one and only Nathan Suit. On behalf of us here at Hey Guys Productions, we just want to say congratulations on a win. Alan Lazard with 23 and your kicker with 17. Not saying you had a great week, but you did enough to get the job done. So on behalf of all of us here, congratulations.
So you've been in this league for a long time, and this is by far the worst team we've ever seen from you. But hey, you were on the 0-16 Cleveland Browns projection, but you managed to sneak out a win. And you put the right lineup out there. You did the best you could. We're proud of you. Um, CMC will be back one day once he gets tendonitis out of fucking everywhere.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll see about that.
yeah. And almost just as surprising to me, Jack, with put that shit on, falling to 1-5, the same record as our friend Suit. Um, Looks to be a dangerous running back duo with Bijan Robinson and Alvin Kamara to start the season. His running back's been great, but the rest of the team just not putting up the numbers. An 82-point performance, that's pretty dog water, if you ask me.
Yeah, that is pretty horrendous considering those first two guys there accounted for half of his team's production. I don't know what's going on back at Put That Shit On camp, but things are not looking good. Maybe expect to see some moves coming in the future.
Okay, and with that, a quick look at the standings. Uh, my team bringing up the rear in the East at 1-5. Looks to be a little bit of a stacked roster here with yourself, Jack, and Tyler over in the East. It's going to be a strong conference. It's going to be hard to get wins. And we have our friends Ollie and James leading the West. So not too much different. Teams are starting to pull away. Other teams are not. And yeah,
Yeah, not too much changing here. Got some more parity out west, but you like to look at those playoff percentage numbers. And you look at Suit sitting at 1-5, it's not looking good. But you, on the other hand, 19% is not bad given this current state of your roster, record rather. So hold on to that hope. Still early. Still got plenty of time to make up some ground. But I am liking to see that number in the 90s for myself, I will say.
94% playoff chance. I mean, that's got to feel pretty good.
It's
If
nice.
you could secure it yet, then I'm sure you would. That's yeah, you got everything to be happy about. And Jack, like you said, they're still giving me a chance. And here at the I Am Worthy headquarters, we're a numbers team. We talked about this last week. And so I just want to bring up a quick point that my team has scored more points than Ollie's team the entirety of this season. And he's 5-1 and I'm 1-5. So let's just I'm not making excuses. Listen, we should have won those games. I'm not a coach that makes excuses. I just like to put some numbers in perspective and in reference to other numbers and look at these numbers together and see what's going on. So I'm gonna find my way up these rankings. Don't you worry.
Yeah, this is interesting here. We see you with the second most points allowed, which makes sense. We went against Tyler last week, so that happens. But true, a big degree of unluckiness going on for yourself. Ollie is astonishing to see a negative almost 100 point differential. He's given up way more than he scored. Whereas, Tyler is over 200 plus. Murray and I are both at least over 100 up. But yeah, the interesting sign there from Ollie, sitting at 5-1, but only scoring 697 points this season, which would put him in the bottom five for sure. Maybe bottom four. Yeah,
I
trust the
That's what
numbers.
I'm saying. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Feels like the 5-0 Chiefs right now. Chiefs don't feel 5-0. They don't, they're not playing like a 5-0 team.
No, they're
So
shaking out wins.
I think we'll see some teams come back down to earth, but just wanted to throw that out there for the people who were down to give me an excuse for why my team is the best. But regardless, let's move on to our favorite segment of the week. Jack, thank you for another beautiful rankings here. I can see my New England Patriots aren't at the bottom, which makes me very happy. But yeah, walk me through it as always. Tell me what to look for.
All right, yeah, let's start at the bottom with your Patriots actually in the super duper shit tier. The only new team here is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just look awful. They had four dropped touchdowns last week, what I thought was a pretty decent receiving core. That's not the case. Maybe it's not all Trevor's fault after all. This team is just in shambles, as are the Dolphins, the Browns, who we see maybe being the worst team in football, and the Panthers. But your Patriots, I don't have them last because as much as they're pretty bad, Drake May showed me some things that I liked. And I'll be honest, I didn't believe in him after the draft. I have a very firm rule against drafting quarterbacks that went to basketball schools, UNC being one of them. But the
Sure.
kid looked pretty good. He had almost 20 fantasy points. And I know fantasy points don't win games for you in football, but he made some nice throws. He's quick. I think he showed some good smarts. And Huddy, what do you have to say about your new QB's debut in the NFL?
Jack, we're feeling the exact same way over here in New England. The general consensus is that, well, we got blown out and he did throw two interceptions and lost a fumble. However, despite all that, it was his first game starting in the NFL and he looked pretty good. Made some nice throws. First one to Keyshawn Booty, and then a beautiful pass in the fourth quarter to Mario Douglas for his first NFL touchdown. Um, so three touchdown passes on the day, and yeah, certainly a more mobile quarterback than Brissett. He knew how to use his feet. He obviously had to because of our abysmal offensive line. But anyway, there's something to be excited about is the main takeaway. Hopefully we can figure our shit out and give him good pieces to succeed. But what I say, Jack, the Drake May dynasty, it's starting right now. And he's gonna get better over time. I swear it's gonna happen.
I hope so for your sake. But yeah, 21 points put up against Texans defense, who I think are one of the better in the NFL. Not bad at all. All you need is a new O-line, receiver, running back, and a whole new defense.
Easy.
Anyways, Super shit tier, nothing much changing here. The Giants sliding down from regular shit to super shit after just one of the least enjoyable Monday Night Football games I've watched in a long time. Their defense looks fine. They did a good job containing that action-packed Bengals offense, but they just can't move the football. Greg Joseph, my cousin, he will not be attending Thanksgiving this year after that horrible performance. It might have cost the Giants the game. But yeah, not too much to say here. In the still shit tier, we got a lot to talk about with these guys. We have the Jets, who made a big deal, big move today, but I just don't know how that's going to fix what's going on here. Rodgers doesn't look sharp. The O-line's terrible. Moving to 2-4, I don't know. I don't know what to think about this team.
I was fortunate enough to log into the Manning cast for Monday Night Football last night, Jack, and was watching Bill Belichick just rip the Jets defense a new one as they're getting the ball run on them by Ray Davis. So that was pretty entertaining for I think a lot of people. Um, yeah, you expected the defense to be the kind of strong point of the team. They didn't look great, and like you said, Rodgers. I mean, he's immobile. Like he's a 40-year-old quarterback. We kind of expected that, but yeah, they had the chance to win the game. They didn't. If I'm Garrett Wilson, I'm pissed. He was just starting to have a really good season, and there's a couple of guys from Green Bay that are just gonna get in his way. So
Hmm.
I'm expecting some drama on this team as well, which is gonna do nothing but just bring them down along the way. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all. And take away that Hail Mary to Lazard, and this game is a blowout too. So don't get it twisted, even though the score was close. In the shit tier, new addition here, the Dallas Cowboys. It makes me so happy to see the Eagles and the Cowboys both in this tier. Fuck those teams. The
That's a
Cowboys got beat by 50. They had linemen running routes against them at the end. They got outscored by Hendon Hooker, and Dak Prescott had 3 fantasy points this week. This team is a mess. It all starts up top. Jerry Jones. You need to fire yourself and actually hire a general manager that understands modern day football. I can't say I'm not loving it though. The demise of the Cowboys. I think it's great. It's good for football.
It is great for football, actually. I think the Detroit Lions are America's new team, unofficially, but officially in the hearts of the fans. And Jerry Jones said he was going to try and fire a radio host after going on a radio show in Dallas and having the radio host complain about their team. And hey, why didn't you sign Derrick Henry when you had the opportunity to? So he just needs to be forced into retirement. Um,
Yeah, he needs to
yeah,
be put down.
yeah. Is this the whole division is shit, which is awesome as a Patriots fan.
Yeah, it really is cool. Speaking of divisions, the NFC North may be the best one in football. The Bears moving up into decent after an impressive win last week. Caleb Williams looks like the real deal at quarterback. I know he's not been as great as Jaden Daniels yet this season, but this kid is pretty special the way he's slinging the ball. The Bears are 4-2. They look pretty good. The entire NFC North has just been remarkable this season, which, of course, the one year the Vikings are undefeated, 5-0, and everyone else is still right on our ass, naturally.
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy finish to that division at the end of the season. Just like super entertaining to watch. And we have a my favorite game of the week probably is gonna be Vikings Lions coming up on Sunday. That's just gonna be fireworks to say the least. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I cannot wait. That game's going to be a whole lot of fun. Um, Vikings Lions is always a good time because it's the one team in the division that, like, I don't hate. They've been bad pretty much our whole lives, and I've always, had a soft spot for the Lions. Obviously, I want them to lose this week, but
Yeah.
respect for that team. Prayers up to Aiden Hutchinson after a brutal leg injury. But that team's got some grit. I'm sure they will be just fine. Other than that, here in the rankings, no changes up top. Chiefs and Vikings both had a bye this week. Lions and Ravens both had some statement wins this week. Ravens winning a good close game against the Commanders. Um, Bills winning this week. Niners getting it done with Jordan Mason going down as well. And same with Green Bay taking down the Cardinals. So yeah, good 12 teams up here, I think. Yeah, the NFL is it's been pretty fun to watch this year.
It doesn't feel like there's any one team running away with it. It is just it's kind of a scramble for the top right now, which is I think just makes for more entertaining football. Even though there's two undefeated teams, they don't feel like juggernauts. They feel vulnerable. And yeah, it's gonna as the weeks go on, we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be good. But Jack, excellent as always. Thank you for not putting the Patriots last. That makes my heart happy.
Just for you.
Um, and I'm surprised you didn't put your Vikings first. You're way too humble about your team.
No, I'm just pessimistic because I've seen this movie before. Last time the Vikings started 5-0, we finished 8-8 and missed the playoffs. So I'm still holding my breath every waking moment.
Okay. Well, Jack, thank you for the NFL rankings. Your pessimism with your Minnesota Vikings is going to continue into our next segment. Welcome to Locks of the Week. Um, Jack, let's start with your picks this week because you got a spicy one here for us. We're talking about a game we're looking forward to. You'll be rooting for your team, but you're actually going to take the Detroit Lions +2 against the Minnesota Vikings going against your boys. I mean, what's going through your head right now? What are we thinking?
Yeah, so there's a little bit in this is a bit of an emotional hedge. I hope this bet does not hit. I hope the Vikings win at home against Detroit here. I've loved what I've seen from this team this season, but I also think Detroit is awesome. We're coming off a bye. There's a shot we get TJ Hawkinson back for a revenge game, which would be pretty sweet. But the most creative defense in the NFL versus probably the most creative offense. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's fun for all football fans to enjoy. I hope the Vikings pull out a win, but I think the Lions with points is just too hard to pass up on.
I'm kind of with you. The Lions just look so good right now. Getting losing Hodgson is going to be a big deal. We're gonna see how that works out for them, but yeah, I would take plus odds on this team straight up if I were you. So
My other
yeah.
pick, Eagles on the road in MetLife. Give me them -3 against the Giants. I think that they have had a really rough start to the season, but I also think the Giants are pretty bad. And that they should be able to win this game by a touchdown.
Okay, scrolling through. So my first one, I'm taking Titans Bills over 41.5 points, one of the lowest total point lines we have this week for football. And I don't know, I think the Bills will be able to cover the majority of the spread with their addition of Mari Cooper. And I'm just betting on the Titans to put up a couple of touchdowns. That's it. I don't think that's too hard to see, whether it's Will Levis or Mason Rudolph calling, under center. They'll find a way to do something. So we'll see how that goes for them. And Jack, I am riding high on this next pick. Um,
The bold
I
one.
it is a bold one. I I feel it. That just Super Bowl revenge tour. Chiefs coming off a bye. They're gonna be slow. My boys from the Bay are gonna come down there. A little fun fact about the commish, San Francisco native here. Born, not raised, but San Francisco 49ers are going to beat them by more than a point and a half. They're going to take the win. They're the best regular season team. I'm standing by it. And Jack, we're going to improve our record once again. We went 2-1-1 last week. So we made our fans some money potentially.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just going to continue on our quote unquote hot streak.
You know it. I love the confidence in San Fran. What an awesome matchup. We got some really good ones coming this week.
Okay, Jack. So we're gonna take our four picks here. We're gonna parlay them. We're getting 1,200 plus odds this week. Jack, they're not letting me place my bet just because of how much I've been winning. Just how much up drought. I'm draining DraftKings bank account. Even with a 4-10 record, we're somehow making money. I promise. Don't look it in the numbers.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, we're feeling pretty good. I think positive record last week, like we said. We're gonna keep it going this week. I'm feeling good about these picks.
Yes, sir. We're on a hot streak. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, welcome to Trade Talk. Jack, a lot of talk in our fantasy football league, but as of the Tuesday that we're recording this, nothing set in stone. So we're taking a hold on that, and we're looking at the actual National Football League. A lot of trades going down today. We got three big ones here. Jack, just walk me through it. First of all, I want to know what's your favorite out of these three? What do you like most for each team?
What I like most is this graphic. Can we all just take a moment to appreciate the commish here? This is just beautifully done. My goodness, the colored arrows matching each team. The
Thank
You're
you.
reaching a new level of graphic design, my friend. Nevertheless, my favorite deal among these three is the one up top. Amari Cooper coming over to the Bills from Cleveland. I think this is a great move for everyone involved. The Browns, their season is over as long as they continue to start Deshaun Watson. They're getting a third round pick for an aging wide receiver who is still very talented. And the Bills contending for a Super Bowl, I think he helps them in that. Um, we have seen Josh Allen struggle to find a number one receiver this season. Khalil Shakir has been pretty solid, but I think he thrives better in the slot anyways. So adding Amari Cooper being that wide receiver one to take the best corner out of the game, to build some chemistry with Josh, I think is really going to help this team reach the next level.
Completely agree with you there. That's my favorite trade out of the three on the board. And it's just such a multifaceted offense. You have Josh Allen do whatever you want, but you have a solid run game this year. We saw James Cook go out yesterday in Monday Night Football, but still had a good run game going. Combine that with a young tight end, Dalton Kincaid, who I love on my fantasy team. And now a good wide receiver room. Yeah, this team go pretty far. Yeah, love it.
Next on the list here, welcome back to Minnesota, my friend Cam Akers. This deal didn't make a ton of sense to me. Basically got him for free. We're sending a sixth round pick in 2026 over to Houston for Akers and a seventh in 2026. He's just one of those guys that Kevin O'Connell loves. They were together when O'Connell was the OC in LA, the Rams. Akers is a good back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, can lay down a nice block. I don't know if this has anything to do with Aaron Jones' lingering hip injury, but I guess they're going to try and maybe split that backfield up a little bit between Jones, Ty Chandler, and now Cam Akers coming in as that third running back. Just giving us a little depth. Akers was awesome when he got to Minnesota last year, and I'm excited to see him again.
I'm with you there. It just seems like a nice insurance policy for them at the end of the day. I always liked Akers. He's had a few seasons in the league now. He had a weird deal with LA where he was a healthy scratch for them for a bunch of games and then got booted off that team, and he's been traveling around since. Seemed like some weird behind the scenes stuff that we don't know about. But yeah, love it. And the fact that you basically got him for free, no harm on you guys. So it's a
Yeah,
win now mentality over in Minnesota.
yeah, who'd have thought? Every year this happens. We end up middle of the pack towards the high end and don't get a good draft pick and get stuck with JJ McCarthy. And last but not least, another reunion, but this time it's Aaron Rodgers getting his man Devontae Adams coming over to the Jets for a third round pick. We see this duo back together, all the havoc they caused me in Green Bay. Probably one of the top five quarterback to pass catcher duos we've ever seen, especially in our lifetime, up there with Brady and Gronk and Mahomes and Kelsey. These two have chemistry like no other. I'm excited to see this action-packed offense get even more packed. What are your thoughts on the new Jets wide receiver?
It's got to be Aaron Rodgers running the show because brought over Alan Lazard. who he had for a couple of seasons in Green Bay. Just feels like a he's just bringing over all the guys he likes. Make it hand selecting his wide receiver core, which is pretty funny. So Lazard and now Devontae Adams, and a young Garrett Wilson. This wide receiver core is stacked. I think Jack almost too stacked. I think there's too many. It may be that there's too many mouths to feed at this point. With a solid run game too, it'll be really interesting to see how they manage it, especially with a new head coach, the interim head coach Jeff Ulrich. I mean that's like maybe it's a lot of personalities to handle on the offense, so that might be. I think we've seen teams run into this challenge before of just managing too many big names. Hopefully they get along. Hopefully they work it out and end up being the offense we were expecting. And like you said, I mean, Rodgers to Adams, tale all this time. Like football fan, I'm just excited to see it. But New York Jets are cursed, so they'll probably end up missing the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't know if this move solves all their problems, but definitely Rodgers is pulling some strings, bringing his guy over. He's got Lazard. Nathaniel Hackett's still around because he says so. And today the Bills actually cut Marquez Valdez-Scantling to make room for Cooper, and Rodgers has the chance to do the funniest thing ever and have them sign him too. I think that would be pretty awesome. But yeah,
That's
we will see how this offense operates. A lot of fantasy producers, a lot of implications going forward. We'll be very excited to watch the Jets this coming week.
I agree with you there. Shout out to our funny meme photo research team exclusively comprised of JJ. I don't even know where you find these. This is ridiculous. Um
Will Levis makes them for us, dude. Like I tell him before every game, I'm like, all right, you gotta do at least one funny thing, so I have a photo for the podcast. We're pretty tight.
yeah, you guys must be friends. I mean,
Yeah, no, we met through Gia Duddy actually.
met through what?
Gia Duddy, his old girl.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, we used to have
Levis was
like
the
a
bounce
slang
back
back in
actually.
high school. Yeah, yeah.
Levis was just to make her feel better. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot to handle with JJ there.
Yeah, no, what can I say?
No, there's nothing to say. Uh wow, with that, thank you guys for watching. Been another great week. Jack, I'm looking forward to beat up on our friend Scott Duncan here. And if I fall to 1-6, there's gonna be a lot of choice words said on the podcast next week. So for the sake of everyone involved, let's hope I don't. And I don't know who you're playing, but I'm sure it's gonna be a win. So
Yeah, I got Dorf this week. Definitely not a pushover. Um, I am nervous. My team being projected so high. I hope they live up to fruition. But Huddy, passing the baton over to you to take care of Scott Duncan in what seems to be a must-win game for I am worthy. Wish you the best. Wish everyone watching the best this week. Let's just have some fun watching football.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you for the week 7 show. It's been a pleasure. Commission JJ signing off. Thank you very much. Peace.
Peace. Hmm.
Photo ID. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, is that a Jalen Brown sweatshirt?
You're goddamn right it is.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's sick.
We're live. We're not live. Not live. No. I'll pay you to edit the videos in iMovie.
We're hiring an editor.
Yeah, we're getting him on the payroll. We just gotta get monetized first.
There will be a
Oh,
dick for it the entire time.
we need to start getting this on Spotify then.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's where the money is.
Get the Spotify deal, do the Joe Rogan talk to a trio podcast.
Oh, dude, we got to get Talk to on this.
Get
They've
talk
been
to on
they've been
this.
dying to have us on as
Yeah.
special guests of their podcast.
That's the rumor mill saying.
JJ and the commission are on like a 6-month backlog for
Yeah, we're currently in for April of 2026.
Yeah, you know.
All right, you guys have fun. I'm gonna go take a shower.
Thanks,
Uh,
Beast.
thanks, man.
Without us?
What's up?
You
Bro,
showering without
you're
us?
not gonna shower Jack? What the fuck?
Oh, dude, how quick can you
Fucked
be up
up.
there? How quick can you get there
Why
for a
can't we
shower?
live stream that instead of the imagine you put out the
Oh, I
podcast,
will.
it's just
Can I do
door
my intro in
showering.
the shower? Can you like just like be like, and we have Dorf, and I'm just like I'm zooming in from like I'm like in a shower cap. In
Those weather pledge vibes, I love it.
Oh, I can do it like the weather. Oh my God.
And now the weather. Awesome.